and we will be ready. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board, and we are starting a session today. Is Tuesday, March 25th of 2025. The category is Water Department. With me today is our board chair, Paula Weiss, as well as board members John O'Connor, Ryan Boyer, and Nancy Camardino. She's in the room with me. It's my responsibility to remind everybody to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it's being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy, and by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted on the Tax Review Board's website. At this time, I'm just gonna give it away to Paula and then put in our first case, Arnold.
Okay, good afternoon. Tax Review Board hearings for March 25th, 2025 are now in session. Before we move into the administrative hearings that we are going to be listening to today, we have some administrative matters to read into the record from our docket, starting with case number 1 for 2501 Margaret Street, last 4 digits of the docket, BX5H. This matter is continued. Case number 2, 2935 Headley Street, last 4 digits of the docket, 5JL3. This matter is also continued. And case number 3, which is again 2501 Margaret Street, last 4 digits of the docket, Z1M5, has been continued. And case number 6, 711 Vine Street, has been continued, and we want to note for the record that this matter for the Pennsylvania Convention Center Authority has been marked no further continuances, and the petitioner and city will be so notified. So having those read into the record, we are going to turn to the remaining matters on the docket, starting with case number 5, 4148 North Marshall Street, last 4 digits of the docket, 9502. Petitioner Rosa Arnold, I believe, is in the room. Ms. Arnold, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Board today. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, Rosa C. Arnold.
Okay, Ms. Arnold, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can have them read into the record the matter, the time period in dollars and controversy, and then we're going to come back to you and have you explain to us why you're here, what you're looking for. Who has this matter for the city?
That would be me, Rosa Laughlin.
Ms. Laughlin, good afternoon. Do you have a witness here that needs to be sworn in?
Good afternoon. So for this matter, the city would actually like to request a continuance to allow Ms. Arnold to potentially have a resolution through the Stormwater Adjustment Program.
Okay.
I haven't had the chance to connect with Ms. Arnold, but I am happy to talk about that option and the benefits that it would have.
Yes, could you explain that? Ms. Arnold, the city would like to explain to you a program they have that they think might resolve the question you have, which I understand is about the stormwater charge for your property. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Ms. Laughlin, why don't you explain to Ms. Arnold what her what available path to resolution is?
Yes, so because the property at 4148 North Marshall Street is a vacant lot directly next to a property also owned by you, it qualifies for the residential side yard exemption. And so you potentially might have access to a full exemption from the stormwater fees. The city's asking for a continuance because we can't guarantee acceptance of the application, but we wanted to give you time to be able to go through that process and potentially have more relief than you would be able to get in front of this board.
And where would she go and how would she start that process?
Yes, so this is through the Stormwater Appeals, and I can give you the phone number if that's what would be helpful to you.
Ms. Arnold, do you have a pen and paper?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, if it's a phone number from the city hall, you don't have to give me a direct number where they could pick up the phone, because sometimes they don't pick up, or, they don't get back to me. I've been dealing with this for many years.
I can give you the phone number for this program, and then I can also give you my direct phone number.
Okay.
So that if you are not able to have someone on the phone, you can call me and we can do more outside of the hearing.
Okay, great, thanks.
I think I have your number, Miss Roses. I can give that to her. I mean, Miss Laughlin, I could give that to her.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
so, all right, so Ms. Arnold, we're gonna give you all those phone numbers before you leave. But at this point, I don't know if Ms. Laughlin is, how long a continuance do you think is realistic? So that she has enough time to pursue this? We could do 60 days, 90 days. Is that fine?
That should be enough time, I think.
All right, maybe I'm gonna recommend 90.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna recommend to the board, we continue this for 90 days, Ms. Arnold, because we want to give you time to contact the stormwater resolution or adjustment program, go through the process. However, if you are not successful, or for some reason you don't get the resolution you're looking for, you will have an opportunity to come back here in front of us. So we're not just sending you away with no further opportunity, okay? So we're gonna mark this continued for 90 days. If you need more time when it gets rescheduled, let us know. If in the meantime you actually do get a resolution you're satisfied with, please let us know that you want to withdraw your petition so we don't reschedule you for a hearing. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So I need concurrence from board members for a 90-day continuance for this matter.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Carradine, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. All right, Ms. Arnold, thank you for coming in. Ms. Andre is going to meet you right when you step out, provide you with the information you need. You will get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with the decision that it's been continued for 90 days. And as I said, you will hear from us again after that with another date. If you don't need that date, let us know that it's resolved.
Yes.
If not, you'll have an opportunity to come back.
Yes, I don't think she gave me her phone number. Did you get?
Whose number?
I got.
Miss Laughlin's number she needs.
This is hers.
Who's not?
Love.
It's not mine, it's hers, the
Yes.
city attorney. Who
And
can
what
help.
about, okay, and we need the number for the stormwater adjustment program itself. Ms. Laughlin, do you have that?
I can read it now.
All right, so we're gonna read that out to you.
Okay, yeah, because I don't have that. Okay,
It is 215
okay,
685
okay,
6244.
okay. Thank you so much.
So start there. If you can't reach anybody, can't, get any assistance there, you can reach back to Ms. Laughlin. Ms. Andre, I'm wondering if our decision letter should say continued for 90 days in order for petitioner to apply for relief through the stormwater adjustment program, so it's clear and she can even use that letter.
Absolutely, and I'll put the number in the letter too.
Okay, so she'll have the phone number will be in the letter you'll get from the Tax Review Board as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Have a good day.
Hopefully we won't see you again.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully this gets resolved.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Laughlin. That's helpful. That works out for her. All right, so we have 2 other matters on the docket. Case number, what was that? It was 5. 4. Is anybody in the room?
No, there's nobody in the office for 4.
All right, so Ms. Foster for number 7 is in the Zoom, so we can move on to case number 7 and then double back.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna call case number 7, which is 1132 South 26th Street, last 4 digits of the docket 9513. Ms. Foster, we're gonna ask you to turn your camera on, please, so we can get started.
Ms. Foster?
Did we lose?
I'm gonna now.
Ah, there you are. Okay.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Ms. Foster. Welcome.
How are you?
Could you please state your full name for the record?
Kelly Foster.
Okay, and Ms. Foster, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so we are going to turn back to the city representative so that we can get on the record the time periods and dollar amounts in controversy, and then we will come back to you so that you can explain to the board why you're here today, what you're looking for from the board.
Thank you.
Ms. Laughlin, is this your matter as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We need, you have a witness who's going to read in the dollar amounts for us?
Mr. Sesniak is the witness for this matter.
Okay, Mr. Sesniak. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, could you state your full name and position with the city, please?
Yep, my name is Jonathan Sesniak, and I manage the stormwater billing operations at the Philadelphia Water Department as a consultant through a company called Element 84.
Okay, thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you. So can you provide for the board, for the record, the dollar amounts that are in controversy along with the dates that are covered?
Yes, the dollar, excuse me, I wasn't necessarily prepared to read the dollar amounts, but I have them here.
And this is all stormwater, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I see the most recent bill printed in the Exhibit 2 has a running balance of $3,115.12.
Can you repeat that, please, Mr. Sosiak?
Yep. $3,115.12.
That's the current
Thank you,
bill.
sir.
That
That's,
was the bill issued on
and that is,
March 4th, 2025.
and that is principal and penalty, or is that just principal?
That's principal and penalty.
Can I direct Mr. Sesniak to page 2 of City Exhibit, which has the breakdown of the principal and penalty?
Yeah. And I see the principal of $1,773.87 and the penalty of $1,147.58. It also notes a legacy lien fee of $10 and a new lien fee of $197.90.
Okay. Thank you. And do you have a start date?
Excuse me, can I ask you one quick question? Can you repeat those figures again, please? Thank you, sir.
There's a principal balance of $1,773.87, a penalty of $1,147.58, a legacy lien fee of $10, and a new lien fee of $197.90.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to ask you one more question, Mr. Sesniak. Do you know what period that covers? I know it ends on 3/4/25, but do you know when it starts?
I could look that up. I thought it was in the exhibit. It's not. But stormwater billing has been parcel-based billing since 2010. So it wouldn't go
Wouldn't be
further
longer
than
than that,
It wouldn't be longer than that.
but it might be less than that.
If the property was acquired since 2010.
So I guess, so the important question for us, and maybe while we're going through some other things, you can see if you can find it. We really do need the parameters for that bill. When does that charge start to accumulate to get that 1773.87 principal? Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Laughlin, do you have any opening comments before I turn to the petitioner?
I do. I would just like to say that the property at 1132 South 26th Street is currently receiving the minimum charge for monthly stormwater billing. This charge is assessed for all properties in the city with very limited exceptions. From our investigation of the record, this property does not meet any of the exceptions. And because it's already at the minimum, it cannot be lowered.
And what is that minimum?
The current minimum is $20.99.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
Yes, so the stormwater account at this address was opened on February 15, 2013. And until March of 2019, there was a building at this address, though it's now a vacant lot. In March of 2019, when the building was demolished, the water usage account at this address was discontinued, but the city's process for discontinuation makes clear that that does not stop stormwater billing, which stays for every, which is assessed for every property in the city. And so because of that, the city affirms that these charges have been correctly issued. And so we would ask the board to also uphold those charges.
Okay, so, all right, so that, then I would. Okay, so the building, okay, so I'm gonna assume then that this. All right, I'm not gonna assume anything. March of 2019, the building was demolished, the water service was shut off, discontinuance permit? I don't know. If you-
Yes, yes.
But that, according to the city's regulations and the ordinance, that does not stop the stormwater charge, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so Ms. Foster, what would you like to tell us about this?
Okay, what I would like to basically say is just a few facts. I made a few notes so I don't be all over the place. But I'd like to first thank the board for accepting this appeal, and the city and the Water Bureau if somebody's present there. So thank you so very much for giving me an opportunity to discuss this issue. My name is Kelly Foster, and I purchased 1132 South 26th Street in 2013. At that particular time, I performed a search of the building, and I contacted all city agencies for any liens and to update all of my contact information for 2013 and moving forward. The search revealed a tax lien and a clean seal violation only. There were no water usage fees or bills or penalties, no utilities, bills or fees, no L&I violation penalties or fees, okay? I received information for all the appropriate city and state agencies except for the water company. On 2019, I received a bill from the water department. I called the revenue department and spoke with Ms. Cooper, who says that the bill is from 2013 to 2019. I said, her first response was, I said, why is the bill so high? Ms. Cooper's first response was that the home has a meter. The building has been vacant for over 15 years and there's no meter. I insisted. Ms. Cooper said that she would look into it and call me back. Never a call back. On January 10th, 2023, I called and spoke to Sherry from the water department, and she said that I owed $18.61 for water storm charges. I said, well, when did this accrue and why wasn't I notified of it? She said there's no name or address on the bill and it was sent to the property. I said a vacant property that was boarded up and now that is demolished, this is where you sent the bill. So she stated that the city had a new system when I called and that they had possibly merged some old bills and merged some old incorrect bills and merged them to my information. I asked to speak to a supervisor. I spoke to Ms. Shapiro. She noted that the mail was returned to the water department in December 2023. That's when my address was updated. I said the building was demolished in 2019, FYI. So I was a little curious about that. I never received a bill from RCB Collection Agency because they told me that the account was closed in 2012 or 2013. So at that particular time, she suggested I contact the tax review board. Fast forward to August the 12th, 2024. To make a long story short, I asked about 20 questions at this hearing with no reasonable explanation. For example, they stated that there is an $895 principal, which I guess I've never been able to discern. It might be part of this $1,773.87. Not sure. However, they said that I have a $895 principal. I asked for verification or a bill. No verification or bill was produced. I asked at that particular time to have it abated. The response was that we cannot abate principal. It was clear to me, and I stated to them that on the form, on the appeal form for the tax review board, it states that you can appeal the principal, interest and penalties, and or refunds. I talked to Miss, I'm going to spell her name because I don't want to murder the name, but she's a very nice lady from the law department, so I'm going to spell it for the record. Her name was Melanie, last name K. King, N November, E Echo, Z Zulu, I India, C Charlie, H Hotel. She was a representative of the law department, very nice lady. She said that she would try to get me, a copy of the where the 895 came from, and she would also talk to her supervisor about the abatement of the principal. I had her email and phone number. She worked from home sometimes to no avail I got any response. Then I received the TRB decision. I contacted the water department and again, I received a runaround, and the bill hasn't been adjusted to date. On 10/2/24, I spoke to Chris from the water law department. He said he would update the bill and call me back next week. And I relayed to him that I have a 45 to 60-day window to make a payment arrangements. At that particular time on 10/2, I called the water department. I spoke with Ms. Brown from the vacant property stormwater department. No help. I called the water department to talk to Ms. Smith, supervisor for the tax review board water revenue. She stated that she is revenue and not the water company, and she cannot assist me. Call the water department. On 10/2, called the water department again, spoke to Chanel, says I don't have a water bill. They don't make payment arrangements on stormwater only. I asked to speak to a supervisor, Ms. Wilson. She told me to call Ms. Smith, the supervisor of the tax review board. So to that end, on 3/2/24, I contacted Kathy from the tax review board with anxiety and frustration, and we checked on the status of the appeal to the full board. I told her about the difficulties and issues I was having trying to make a payment arrangement. I was told that if I made a payment arrangement with the water department, that would void my appeal for the full board of the tax review board. To the end of this long story, I should not have to go through all of these changes to get clarity, fairness, and the correct information. I respectfully request to resolve this matter in the following manner. The principal of $895 be abated. Abate all penalties, interest, and late fees. I believe that was supposed to be done in the previous tax review hearing, but please don't hold me to it. And the balance of this should be divided between the Kelly Foster and the city of Philadelphia. The city should have some responsibility in this matter, as I am willing to take responsibility as of the date that I was notified in 2023. I should not be responsible for this large bill where I've done due diligence at every point to try to rectify and get clarity on. And it's just going on and on and on. So I respectfully request that, again, all interest, penalties, and late fees be abated. The $895 be abated. Whatever the remainder balance is, I'm willing to take half of the responsibility, and I would like the city of Philadelphia to take the other half. Thank you very much for your attention in this matter.
Thank you. Ms. Lockwood, do you have any questions for Ms. Foster?
I do. I believe so. If I could try to talk about the 895 balance. Ms. Foster, did you say in 2019 is when you got the bill and called them and had the account discontinued?
That's when I called them, once I received the information that I had a bill. And prior to then, I've never been contacted in reference to a bill.
Okay, and did you ever receive mail at 1132 South 26th Street?
No, I haven't. And as a matter of fact, when the building, before it was demolished, I called the post office department and I said, do you have a habit? And I talked to the postal supervisor. I said, do you have a habit of delivering mail to abandoned buildings? You can also mention that this building has been sealed and cleaned and safe and has been sealed by the city. And I asked the postal inspector, do you have a habit of delivering mail to the abandoned building? He said, that is not our policy. If a building is abandoned, we return to sender.
And did you ever update your mailing address with the city's department?
Yes, ma'am. I updated that back in 2013 when I purchased the property. And like I mentioned previously, all the city, city and state and federal local people have my information. And I just don't understand why the water department never copied me in reference to this.
Okay, so if I can just try to explain a few things. Essentially, right now, this address has one water account on it. That's the current balance that Mr. Cesniak provided, which is all stormwater. The only charges on it are stormwater and then penalties for not paying stormwater. There's a separate balance, which is part of a discontinued account. The account that was discontinued in March of 2019, that currently has a $1,116.07 balance with $981.27 in principal. Because of the status of that discontinued account, I can't see what those charges were for. It doesn't provide me a list like an active account does. And so I'm not sure.
We're not here for that. I think we want to know where we want to know specifically about the stormwater charges. I don't know if Mr. Cesniak can tell us how far back they go. Have there been any payments to this account? Where did the bills go? I think we need to probably just stick with this matter right now in front of us.
Well, chairwoman, whatever you say, I exactly agree with you 100%. However, that was one of my concerns with Ms. Laufman. With the city, I apologize, that they just tacked on $895 to this bill and nobody knows what it's for.
I'm not sure where that $895 came.
But it's part of this bill. It's part of the bill for the stormwater charges.
Well, Ms. Laughlin, do you know where an $895 charge may fit into any of this? Or is that what it was at some point earlier in the process? I mean, obviously, I'm going to say obviously, I assume that these stormwater charges are continuing to accrue every month. So Ms. Foster, every time you come, the number is going to be different.
That's fine, but we're just talking about the basic principle.
Well, that number is going to be different every time we talk, because every month a new charge is being added. So if you go 4, 5, 6, 12 months, it's going to be more than it was a year ago. We're talking currently $21 a month. We're talking over $250 a year.
Right, and then you can also, when I also looked at the bill in 2013, it wasn't $20 a month. It was $8 a month.
Yes.
It was $6 a month. So again, that has not been calculated properly again. And when I did the calculation,
we don't know that.
No, I'm saying, but on my opinion, of course, you guys, and that's why I wanted to see what Mr. Jonathan had to say. In my opinion, you're absolutely correct in what you were saying. So, like I said, basically the $895 for the principal plus the stormwater charges. I just don't think that I should be responsible for all of those when I wasn't notified. From the time that you contacted me, I contacted you. I've even tried to make a $40 payment with the payment arrangement after the tax review board, and I was told that not to make it a payment arrangement until this hearing. So it's just, I just want some relief.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Foster. You purchased this property in 2013. It did have a building on it until 2019. Were you paying the water bills at any point in time?
No, ma'am, because I never received any. And I know ignorance is no excuse of the law, but they never came to me at my address. They never came to me at the property. And when I first received it, when they updated my information, I called them immediately. That's why
You haven't made any payments.
No, not until maybe like when I got the payment from the tax review board. That's when I tried to make the payment arrangements, and I did make 2 payments.
All right, why don't we let Ms. McLaughlin put on her case, and then we'll see where we are.
Yes, so I just have a few questions for Mr. Sesniak to clarify the city's stormwater assessment and its billing program.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Sesniak, have you reviewed the record for today, and are you familiar with the stormwater account for 1132 South 26th Street?
Yes,
And is the stormwater assessment for this address generally aligned with the city's policy for stormwater billing?
in that the monthly charge, yeah, it appears that the monthly charge has been accurate for each month and you know, as just a vacant lot, it does receive a stormwater charge and is assessed a stormwater fee, as is every parcel of the city of Philadelphia. So yes, I can see I guess there have been a lot of questions back and forth, so I don't know whether to answer one at a time or
Why don't you let Ms. Laughlin ask you
okay,
her questions?
I will. All right, thank you.
Yes. So are you able to articulate the reason that the city charges a stormwater fee for each parcel?
Sure. The stormwater fee goes towards the city's costs of managing stormwater for the city that's updating the current infrastructure, building new infrastructure to capture it more, all towards the city's efforts to reduce pollution in creeks and rivers by implementing more stormwater management citywide.
And so the monthly stormwater charge is associated with fees to cover that process.
That's correct, yes.
And I don't have any further direct questions for Mr. Sesniak.
Can you, I would like, can I jump in? Sesniak, can you explain or can you verify that through the years, the stormwater charges have changed and that the billing that Ms. Foster is now looking at correctly has been represented by those billing changes, so that in 2013, the number per month may have been different and that the numbers we're looking at calculated correctly. The lesser amounts for the years when it was less than $21 per month, and the increments as it has reached $21 a month for 2025. And I don't know if you have any documents you can share with us, but that would be helpful. And a specific account history for this property, perhaps?
Yeah, there is an exhibit 1.
I can share my screen if that's helpful.
Yes, you could do that.
Okay, exhibit one, this is a standard parcel fact sheet. There's one for every property in the city. Down at the bottom, there's charts. This just provides the last the last 5 years, but it does go. We do have, these charts back to, 2010, which would give, the different rate periods. So every, period that is billed for stormwater is approved, and assessed a rate by the, that was approved and assessed by the Water Rate Board and implemented. There's a whole process for that, and it changes from time to time. So this fact sheet
I interrupt
demonstrates.
for a second. Ms. Lachlan,
Mhm.
can you zoom in on that so that we could actually see the numbers?
Thank you. I can't see it now.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr.
Mhm.
Sesniak, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, thank you. And Ms. Laughlin, if you could scroll to the right, which would just show what the current rate period, so when we're talking about the $20.99 a month, it's really, that was the rate period back to September 1st, 2024. And then previously at the top, there's the rate period September 1st, 2023 to August 31st, 2024. And then it was at that time it was billed at 1907 was the rate. And this is the minimum charge for a parcel. That's not like a residential a residential house gets a residential flat rate, which is essentially the same charge, except the billing and collection charge is different. So there's about 15 cents off.
And can you affirm for us that the principal amount you read off, which was 1773 and 87 cents, is in fact only the principal amount and does not have any penalties or other charges rolled into it at any point in time? That is all over the years, however many months, which we really aren't completely sure of, but that is all principal that is accrued.
That I read, this is from basis 2. If you're getting into the details of so it looks like, as I've been reviewing the account, so there was an unpaid water balance from the previous owner, which was transferred over. And I'm not sure from looking at this screen if that is included as principal in this menu or as penalty in this menu.
So an unpaid stormwater charge? As a transfer?
Correct. Yeah, when you asked me to look up the if the bill was going back to 2010, I confirmed that yes, stormwater billing started in 2010. But then the property was sold to Ms. Foster a few years after that. I have to look up the exact year. But those balances were not settled at title date. The previous water account.
Okay.
And so I'm not familiar enough with the breakdown of this note to know that if the principal in here, which I assume includes everything transferred over from the previous owner, but I'm not sure if it differentiates that in this breakdown on this account.
All right, so this 17, and do you at any place that you're looking see an $895 number?
I could review.
You know how much the default transfer was in
Yeah.
2013? That may be the number.
I have to get the correct account up again. 1 second. there was a balance transfer on September 11th, 2014 to this current account, which is from the same account number, but under the previous water account holder, property owner. That was $849.27.
Okay.
Is that
That's
that's similar to the number you said? I don't know if we're
Well, the
looking
number
at
was
exact.
895, so I guess that, okay, I'm not sure. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Lachlan, anything else you want to share with us?
I don't have anything else other than to affirm again that the city is billing stormwater on this account correctly, and has policy justification for collecting this money. The services at this address have been continuously delivered since 2013. And so it's the city's position that the bill be collected.
Ms. Foster, did you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I have, yes, ma'am. Especially, it seems to be very ambiguous about the previous water account, whether it's $847 or $895. I believe they're still one of the same, maybe late fees, taxes, interest. Like you said, things are constantly changing. And so I definitely challenge that $800-something because nobody can tell me where it came from, who it came from, and present me with any facts of where it belongs besides a verbal of verification. Where's the written documentation of what the $800 odd some dollars is for? It's a valid concern. Second of all, I don't know if I gave the wrong impression, but I know that a storm water charge is valid. That is not the discrepancy. I live at 6373 Germantown Avenue. You can pull up my bill right now. It's current with my water bill, and I paid my storm water fee, and I also pay a runoff charge. I am very, very familiar with the process, what it does for the city, and why I should be charged. That's not the dispute. The dispute is that if I owed it, what responsibility does the appropriate agencies have to give me that bill before it becomes a $3,000 bill? Why do I have to wait from 2013 to 2019 to get a bill? That's not fair at all. And especially when I got the information, I responded immediately with due diligence. Second of all, I do not believe that the interest and penalties and the interest and penalties and late fees have adjusted properly. I did have a previous mediation with the tax review board, and that they abated 100% of those charges. I'm not.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there, and just for information, that
Yes.
once you appeal to the full board, that decision below is no longer a valid decision. So that's where the
Okay, no problem, ma'am. Thank you so very much. But that's thank you. Thank you for that. But like I said, my basic thing is that the stormwater charges are not in dispute. I understand that everybody in the city has to pay them for what, then that's just it. My dispute with the city is that you had 15, 10, 15, 11 years to contact me. The tax people can contact me. PGW can contact me. The people in the neighborhood can contact me about my lot. Everybody has this public information and a public situation in reference to selling it or cleaning it up or all the pertinent things. The city has a responsibility and a due diligence to a tax-paying citizen to make sure that they get a bill. And I should not have to go back through a $3,000 bill because you merged into a new system and you pulled this up from out of your hat. I mean, it's just not fair. So again, I'm just going to finish. So in closing, I would like to resolve this matter. I would like to resolve it fairly. I'm not living in a bubble where I know this everything is going to go away. Again, if we could get rid of the tell me about the $895, get rid of that, the interest, taxes, penalties, and late fees, whatever the remaining balance is, I'm willing to split it with the city as taking some responsibility
let's
and to
split.
resolve this matter immediately, if that's a possibility. I respectfully request.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lachlan, any closing remarks?
Yes,
You have
thank
enough?
you. In terms of the question of responsibility here, the city's position is that when somebody buys a property in the city of Philadelphia, they have the responsibility to clear that title, and for the remaining balances that are on that account. If there were efforts, if you have title insurance for this, the proper venue for the initial rollover of water balance would be through those people and not through the city. And the second, in terms of responsibility, is that property owners in the city of Philadelphia are responsible for maintaining communication about that property. If you're saying that you, and the records indicate that you reside in Philadelphia and you pay stormwater for that property, that along with the fact that you own this other property is notice that there's stormwater fees associated with that property as well. And I'll also note just the city's records and the exhibit that we've provided indicate that bills have been going to the 6373 Germantown Avenue address since December of 2022 and not 2023. So just that the period of notice to your residents is actually 2022 and not 2023.
Okay, thank you. Any board members have any questions? All right, we're gonna step back and have a brief conversation. Everybody sit tight.
Thank you
Thank
so very much. I appreciate you all.
Okay, I think we have everyone back. Tax Review Board is back in session. We had an opportunity to review the information and the testimony provided by both parties, and it is the decision of the Tax Review Board to abate all of the penalty that has accrued against this specific stormwater account and provide the petitioner with 30 days from the date of the adjusted bill to enter into a payment agreement with the Water Revenue Bureau. Can I get concurrence from board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Ryan Boy, I concur.
Nancy Camerdiner, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Ms. Foster, you will get a letter from the Tax Review Board within about 2 weeks that reiterates our decision to abate the full penalty accrued against this account. It will have appeal rights for both parties, should anybody choose to take this matter to the Court of Common Pleas. Barring that, there will be an adjusted bill, and you'll have 30 days from the date of that adjusted bill to enter into a payment agreement for whatever the balance is. So thank you for coming in and for your patience while we adjudicated this matter.
Can I ask one question, please?
Sure.
That final, does that, you said, is that interest, penalties, late fees? What is that? What is it exactly? I just wanted to write it down.
It's the penalties that have accrued, and the number that was read into the record is $1,147.58.
$1,000.
$147.58.
Thank you. And that's off the current bill, correct?
That's the number that was read in as of March of 2025.
And what was that total bill, please, of March of 2025? What was the bill?
$3,115, and I don't have the
No
cents.
problem, no problem. 3,015.12. Thank you.
$3,115.12.
Thank you, John.
Chair Weiss, could I clarify something about the payment arrangement? Is that a contingency that?
Always
Okay.
contingent on, the abatement is contingent on entering into and maintaining the payment agreement.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next matter. We have one more case on our docket that is open. I'm not sure if anyone is here for the petitioner, and it's case number 46023 Jefferson Street. Last 4 digits of the docket 2TU3. Ms. Andre, do we have anybody?
No, it is approximately 3:02. There's no one here in the virtual waiting room, and there's no one here at the waiting room at 100 South Broad Street.
Okay, and is this a first listing for this petition?
I also want to bring to the attention that there was an attorney who entered his appearance. However, the notice was sent to the petitioner. So I do not recommend that we mark this no further rehearings.
Oh, I wasn't.
I should update the account and then send him the ability to appeal the case here for a rehearing.
So we're just gonna mark this denied for failure to appear, and then
If I get something from the attorney, I think we should just grant it and just reschedule it.
would you like this to be continued, or should we?
No, I don't think we should continue it. I just think that
Sounds like.
the attorney comes back.
I think we're just gonna deny for
here.
failure. Okay, so we're denying this for failure to appear with certain contingencies. that
Yeah.
may end up
Makes
making-
any sense.
Okay, so can I get concurrence from the board that this petition is denied for failure to appear with no other notation?
Ryan Boy, I concur.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Camerdiner, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. And I believe that completes the docket for today. So thank you, everyone. And this concludes the Tax Review Board hearings for today.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
all Thursday.
Bye.